that told the New York Post. The UTC women's soccer team earned their third shutout of the season with another 3-0 win at Troy and improved to 3-1 on the year, while the Trojans fell to 1-3 overall. The Mocs will return to Chattanooga to take on Georgia State on Friday night at Finley Stadium. Gates open at 6 o'clock p.m. with admission free. Red Bank and Signal Mountain will be our high school football game of the week this Friday night at Signal Mountain High School. Then on Thursday night, join Keon Rose, Nick LaFew, and others for the Gridiron Gang Show from Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Action Sports Now.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nuga Radio.
Y'all didn't know I was going to be on twice today, but I am. I'm filling in for my comrades this week, but that means you're just going to get a double dose of the best thing that Chattanooga has on the radio. It's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. Y'all know what it is. I'm giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on in the city of Chattanooga. Oh, man, y'all better get ready because we're going to talk about it. We are still waiting on a decision from Judge Poole in the case of Unjolee Moore. It's been 2 weeks. Now, I happened to talk to an individual on yesterday at church, by the way. Y'all, I was about ready to turn over a table. I got to talk to an individual about Unjolee Moore's case. And I said that I was anxious about the outcome of Unjolee's case. So if you don't know who Unjolee Moore is a man that has been in prison for almost 9 years of a crime that he did not commit, a crime that he was implicated in by the niece of retired police captain Edwin McPherson, who covered up evidence, suppressed evidence, butted in the investigation, even though it was a conflict of interest. That basically gave the green light to Sergeant Michael Wanger, who has a history, who has assaulted 3 other civilians in 3 separate cases in 3 different years, but not only was allowed to keep his job, but the Chattanooga Police Department felt that because he beat black people and beat poor people, he should be rewarded for that, and they promoted him to sergeant, regardless of the fact of his history of abuse and official misconduct. And Unjolee's case is filled. The Officer Michael Wanger tortured Unjolee into a confession, which is not only illegal, but should be the grounds not only for Michael Wanger to be fired from the Chattanooga Police Department, but to have finally, after 3, this is the 4th implication of him brutalizing a private citizen who should be presumed innocent until proven guilty, right? That is, folks, y'all know me, every Friday. If you don't know by now, every Friday is Know Your Rights Friday. If you're just now listening, welcome in. Welcome, family. I welcome you. If you haven't heard, every Friday, 11 to 12, my show is Know Your Rights Friday, where we cover constitutional rights because I care about you no matter who you are. No matter who you are. No matter what you look like, no matter how much money you have, no matter what your education is, I care about you and I want you to know your rights. We've gone over Miranda rights. Last week, we talked about jury nullification and why it's important for people to show up for jury duty. Why you have to take the power as the jury, because the jury is the one who gets to set people free. And if we want people to go home in criminal cases, we, the jury, got to show up. We talked about that last week. And that jury nullification, the foundation of jury nullification is your Sixth Amendment right. That's what I talk about on my show. I don't know what you're used to listening to and what you might have heard. Around here at Nuga Radio 92.7, we care about the people. Our show is based on the people. All of the shows are based on the people, right? And it's amazing to me that no matter how much love we give, how much truth we give, that people, when I see people talking and saying things on our Facebook page, it don't really bother me. But it perplexes me because I don't see anybody doing any of the work that me and David and Russell and other people are doing at the station. I don't see anybody doing this on any of the other radio shows around the city of Chattanooga. When's the last time you heard about a constitutional right on any other radio station? I want you to think about that. When's the last time they dug into something that was going to set you free? Because we could talk about all sorts of kind of stuff. I could talk about Trump's wig. We could talk about fashion. I could talk about what celebrities are doing. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about if Trump gets impeached because I continue to push the ideology because I'm firm in it. That the most important elections, the most important people are your mayor, both your county and your city mayor, your county commissioners and your city council. And that the president is not responsible for them raggedy streets you drive over every single day. That's your mayor and your city council responsible for that. Your president is not really responsible for these raggedy schools your children go to. Your county commission and your county mayor are responsible for that. And while everybody's so worried about Trump and his cabinet, and people can have all kinds of opinions on one side or the other, I can almost guarantee you if I just walked up to the average person and asked them who the what district they live in and who their city councilman or councilwoman is, they probably couldn't tell me. And that's the problem. You know who your president is and what he's doing, why he should be impeached or why you feel that way. But if I ask you who your city council person is, if I asked you what is important to your city council as far as what they're responsible for your district, you probably couldn't tell me, folks. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because these are the folks that can affect our immediate and local economy, which is what we talk about here at Nooga Radio 92.7. We want to invest in local economy. We want to grow local economy. We don't want to do that with debt either. We want to encourage you to love and be concerned about your neighbor, the person who lives right next to you. What made my life wonderful as a young lady growing up in the South, the late 80s and early 90s in the city of Chattanooga was the fact that I could tell you almost everybody on my street. Why? Because my grandmother would make me take them food. My grandmother would make me ask them how they were doing. My grandmother taught me that I should speak to them because that is the courteous thing to do. My grandmother would make me and my siblings trim their hedges. My grandmother would make me and my siblings and my cousins do all sorts. It was just this community pride and interest, even though it was just one street. That street was America for me. That street was the nation for me because I knew everybody on it. I knew the people's grandchildren who came to visit because we would play with one another. We play football. We play basketball. We ride bikes together. What happened to a community like that? Well, if we got our eyes and our attention and our care and concern everywhere else but at home, we won't see what's happening right up under our nose. If you know what the national debt is, but you don't know that the city of Chattanooga has refused in the form of your mayor and all of your city council persons have refused to collect $26 million in the form of payment in lieu of taxes, that's a problem, folks. I'm glad you know what the national debt is. But if you didn't even know that the city of Chattanooga hasn't collected money, that they extended to people to be able to come here and do business, and they did it with debt. But this is the same city council that will raise your taxes without even asking you first. That is a problem. And I know people, it's tough. I give tough love because it's all I've been given all my life. It's love, but it's tough. Because if we're going to change, I talked about it this morning. If we want to change what's on the outside, we got to change what's on the inside. And we got to, first of all, start with our toxic and negative and ignorant thinking and beliefs. Because those are the foundations for ignorance and poverty. How is it? I really want y'all to know. Call in and talk to me. 800-8949. I know my phone probably going to be dry. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's dry for the rest of the show. And that's okay. Because at the least, I hope the wheels are turning on the inside of your head. I want to ask you a real question. Because you are my friend and my neighbor. I don't care if you like what I'm saying or not. I love you. Whether you receive me or not, whether you receive what I'm saying or not, it does not change the love I have for you as a listener. It doesn't change that. Because I know I'm going to wear you down with my love. I'm going to wear you down. I'm going to wear you down because you're going to get it every time you tune in to me. You're going to get nothing but love. It's tough love, but it's love nonetheless. I'm going to wear you down with it. I'm going to grind you down with it. Let me ask you a question, good people. How is our mayor and our city council timid about shaking down businesses that they wrote an agreement with, a legal binding document with, shaking them down for money that is owed to them, but they don't mind raising your taxes? And these are the same people who I've talked to so many times on the council. When they see me, you see the hands going over the mouths, because I can read lips very well. You can see the hands, but I mean, it still just tells me you're talking about me, but that's cool. If you talk about me, that's an honor because that means I'm getting to you. If you don't talk about me or you don't notice who I am, that means the work that I'm doing is insignificant. We're not too worried about what y'all say about us at Nougat Radio 92.7 because we're going to keep giving it to you because we wear down people with love. We're not about hatred here on this radio station. We are not about division at this radio station. We're not about perpetuating debt in our society. We're not about ensuring that the people remain ignorant and bound by shackles that they don't even see. My mom says all the time, the shackles on the mind aren't as strong as the shackles on the wrist. And a lot of us have shackles on the mind and we don't even often know it. And that's why it's important, the work that we do here. And we continue to talk about zero accountability. And the sad part is, from police to mayor to city council, I see zero accountability. I have yet. If I ever, Lord forgive me, but if I ever caught Andy Burke on a bad day, I might be tempted to just snatch him up and be like, what the devil is wrong with you? Just snatch him up. I know I would probably get arrested for that. But just snatch him up, like your grandma would see you doing something stupid and she just snatch you up real quick. What you doing? Get somewhere and sit down. Snatch him up and be like, sir, where are you? I ain't heard nothing from this man. Not on rape allegations. I didn't hear anything about the police brutality against Diana Watt and Avery Gray's daughter. Nothing. How are you a representative of the people? When we have problems, you are nowhere to be found. I ain't even seen them. Y'all seen them? Y'all know, like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Or you remember? I don't know how old some of my listeners are or how seasoned some of my listeners are. But if y'all remember, like, the picture that would be filled with cars and buildings and people, and you would have to find Waldo in it. That's what it's like trying to find where the mayor is. Because at least I got to see the city council persons at least once a week. I can see them. I can hit them up. I can give them a gut punch every Tuesday. But where in the world It's Burke. Where's he at? No press conferences, no statements. No, this is disgusting. What is happening is totally ridiculous. I'm gonna look into this. I don't know if anybody else is doing it, but I'm gonna look into this. And I'll report back to the people with what I find. Has anybody experienced any of that? Folks, this is why I talked about on the first show, the problem with race and perpetuating race and differences that are not even real is we won't come together to ask simple questions like this. We won't come together to ask, why do I need a driver's license if I'm not even participating in commerce when I drive every single day? Who said that I need driver's license? Title 55 doesn't say I need a driver's license. What does Title 55 state? Do you know? Now, the interesting thing enough, this is the thing I find interesting. So, if you go back in history for the people who didn't want to give the Constitution, which is more than all that we ever needed, in the form of giving free persons rights and ensuring that they were never infringed upon, we had people who were anti-federalists who decided that states' rights was the new wave. States' rights were the thing that we need to follow. And a lot of us don't even know what our state rights are. We say state rights and we don't even know what that means. Because if you just look at something simple as transportation and travel, which all of these laws that we have for transportation and for travel are meant to target the impoverished and the people of color. If we start asking questions, folks, we're going to find some answers, and the answers are not really going to hurt us, but they free us. And that is a scary thing, I think, for some people out there to admit. Hey, Constance, I see you on Facebook. Shucks, Miss Constance Giles called the police and ended up in handcuffs. No accountability. None. Zero accountability. She's not black. She's not from the urban inner city ghetto. She's from Walker County. And still found herself entangled in police corruption and official misconduct and abuse of power. And is having to fight for her own freedom. This is why I continue to talk about the issues that I do, so we can get over it. We can just hang it up. That we are neighbors who are not different by classification of race, but only different. We are only different by culture. Our cultures and customs and maybe our language is different. But as people, we are neighbors. And as we talk about within the context of American society, we are countrymen and countrywomen. We're brothers and sisters. But whether we realize it or not, because I talked about it last week when we talked about slavery, a lot of us probably don't even know that some of us are related. That's a reality here in America, and especially the South. Some of us may be related. I need my white brothers and sisters to get over racism, because I want you to think about it. That sometimes when you pass people who are light complexion like me, you may be passing your cousin, your relative, and not even know it. That's real. That's a very real thing. That's real. We got to get over it. We're all in the same sinking ship. The boat is sinking. Like on Titanic, there were the people who were locked down in the bottom who drowned, but there were some rich people who didn't make it on the lifeboats either. We all on the same sinking ship. And the thing to do is not try to fight over a little bit of lifeboats, but patch the ship up and get the water out of the boat so we can continue to sail onward. But how can we do that if we all fighting over the little bitty things instead of saying, hey, there's more than enough in America for all of us, and we don't have to fight over it. There's more than enough. We don't have to fight over it. And we don't have to fight one another. Why is there zero accountability? Because it's too profitable for the people to be ignorant. That's how you get locked up. That's how you get in the penal system, right? That's how you get ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. That's how you lose your driver's license that you really don't need. It's profitable for the people to be ignorant because you could tax them to the high heavens and they don't even see it happening. They don't see it coming. They don't even ask why. Why do you need a driver's license if the laws were written at a time when there were no automobiles? Does anybody ask these questions? I'm sure children probably ask these questions, but do we ask these questions? We're going to continue to chop it up and talk about it here, but we got zero accountability going on, and it's as quiet as a mouse in the city of Chattanooga. And folks, that's a problem when we got a lot of problems. We got to start having some conversations. And shucks, it ain't just the responsibility of the people in power to have those conversations, but we the people. If we see that other people are not doing the work, we got to do the work. That's what it's all about here. Chattanooga Radio 92.7, the Marie My Show. Keep tuning in.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Chattanooga Police say a man shot in the shoulder while sitting in his car early Sunday morning. CPD says officers responded to reports of shots fired on the 2000 block of Rawlings Street. The gunshot victim had arrived at a local hospital in his personal vehicle. 54-year-old Jeffrey Miller suffered from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the shoulder. If you know anything about this incident, you're asked to call the police. Jury selection in the trial of a woman accused of a murder and arson in the 2016 death of a Whitwell, Tennessee pawn shop owner begins today in Marion County. 53-year-old Angela Kilgore's trial comes more than 2 years after the body of 72-year-old Valley Pawnbrokers owner Jerry Ridge was found inside his Whitwell business, and suspects in a deadly shooting on Brad Street Friday night have been apprehended. Montrell Williams and Shaquilla Hubbard. A third, Kevion Hubbard, is still on the loose. If you have information, call the police. Val St. John for Chattanooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Chattanooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with?
Eric.
You're our winner.
Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Chattanooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Chattanooga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Chattanooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga Radio 92.7.
Join Chattanooga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Hey, Karen, you need me for that 1 o'clock?
Yes, Cheese, please. Karen, did you get the quarterlies done? Yep, they're filed in the cabinet.
Karen, can you describe the initiatives to the new hire? Thanks.
Oh, sure. Full-bodied, some floral notes, maybe a hint of dark chocolate.
Am I in the right department?
Got wine on the mind? Come unwind at Virgola. Italian wine, oysters, caviar, cheeses, and more. Perfect after work or a romantic date night. Virgola Italian Wine Bar, 608 Georgia Avenue.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks? Even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, Brainerd Road. Chattanooga weather.
Heating up out there for your afternoon with some sunshine, highs 90 to 92 tonight. Becoming fair, muggy again. You can see a little patchy late fog, lows of around 70. For Tuesday, hot again. Highs of around 90 with scattered afternoon showers and storms returning for the midweek. Looking to buy or sell a home? Real Living Southern Realty provides real answers and customized marketing solutions. Serving the entire tri-state area, check rlsouthernrealty.com for more. And I'm Sorgene 12 Chief Meteorologist Pat Report.
The radio 92.7.
Oh, y'all didn't know that I was going to be on twice today, but it's Marie Mott with Marie Mott Show. I'm filling in for my beloved station members this week. So you're going to get a double dose of me. I don't care how you feel about that because it's just love. I'm loving on you guys, talking about some real things going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Y'all know what I do. I give you guys a bird's eye view. And folks, like last week's city council meeting just left such a bad taste in my mouth all week, even throughout the weekend. And then I wake up and my brother from another mother, Mr. David Toulis, sends me what he wrote on Nooganomics. And I need you guys to go check it out. Like, I need y'all to go check out Nooganomics because David writes some excellent pieces. What he covers with Title 55. He covers what happens at city council meetings. And that's important because if you were to pull up what do you get from a city council meeting, you're not really going to get anything but just a PDF file or a document in black and white of the agenda and yada, 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 yada. You need to get the view of a person that's dedicated to the people. And David's very much dedicated to the people. So I woke up this morning and David has sent me the article that he wrote. Again, looking at the people who were pulled over just this weekend with charges of drinking or driving under the influence. And almost all of them, with the exception of one, was African American. Folks, when we talk about things like this, when we talk about silence, when we talk about no accountability, when we talk about our politicians, folks, we're talking about systems of oppression and gatekeepers who ensure that that oppression is an everyday occurrence. Our police are in on it. And the goal of these factions, no matter who you're talking about, is to cunningly coerce you. I'm going to keep saying it. David was the one who said it to me, and I gotta repeat it because when he said it, it locked in my mind as something that just perfectly described a lot of the government factions that we have as far as their relationship to you, my neighbor, the people, the listener, is to cunningly coerce you out of your rights or hope and pray that you don't even know them at all. The law, the crazy thing is I see people who hop on the Nooga Radio 92.7 FM Facebook page to hate, to just drop stupidity because they obviously have nothing better to do with their life, like reading constitutional law or educating themselves on Miranda or reading Nooganomics to see what David is talking about from not only the city council meeting from Chattanooga, but David even writes pieces for the city council for the city of East Ridge, where our radio station is located. Folks, where are you getting this from? Even the great articles that came out about the rape allegations against the Chattanooga Police Department. I have seen zero follow-up with the Chattanooga Times Free Press on these issues and putting pressure on our politicians and the police chief and all his minions about answering to the public about what is going on. And for me, I don't understand in my mind, and maybe you are where I'm at. I don't understand that if a police officer inside the department confirmed that these allegations were true, I don't understand how we got these allegations in June. We're almost into September, and we're still having an ongoing investigation. I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. Unless the intention is, A, that we forget, the trail goes cold, nobody talks about it anymore, nobody covers it anymore, it's not on the news anymore, it's not in the paper anymore, and it's only one radio station dedicated to ensuring that the people never forget things like this. Is that either A, you forget, or B, if it just, in the case nobody never forgets, we got to figure out how we're going to cover this up. Now, good people, good citizens of the city of Chattanooga and even the city of East Ridge, if you happen to be listening, or wherever you are, whether it's Saudi Daisy, Dunlap, wherever you may be, I want you to know something. As God intended for you, you were born free. But you have not been made free by this society in the forms of education, often socioeconomic status. You are not made free. You are not kept free. You are imprisoned first in your mind. You are subjugated first in your literal thought and understanding. Then that translates to you operating as a subject. And my radio programmer, man, he's such a clever guy. He always asks me questions when we have conversations. He asks me questions, and a lot of times he may not know it. He leaves me thinking. Probably, I think it was one of the first conversations that we had before I even had a radio show, and he talked about offering one to me. But he said, Marie, do you understand why the police officer says that I have the subject in sight? And we have to understand, a lot of times we even miss just the literal language of how things are contextualized or used. When we, the people, are talked about, why are we called subjects? I have the subject in sight by the occupiers in the form of police. Why are we called subjects? Because that's what we are made to be. Subjects. Slaves, more or less. We think we're free because we can hang our pretty flag out of our home on the outside, and occasionally if we got a good breeze coming through, we can see it waving and it looks pretty. And we think because we could type patriot in a Facebook status that that's exactly what we're treated as. And that could not be the furthest thing from the truth. David has not gotten what I feel is a heartfelt, intentional response to Title 55 notice, both for the city of East Ridge and Chattanooga, that is rooted in the rights of the people. David has not gotten that. And unfortunately, until the people wake up, he probably never will. If the goal for the city of Chattanooga is to promote attorneys who will lie to your face and say that the statute, which I read in plain English, says that I can inspect, that I don't have to request, and that's the new city attorney. I think his name is Niblet. Will lie to you. Now, it's interesting that a former city attorney would say that the new city attorney, he knows all kinds of law. That's what he said. He was just praised. Oh, man, when I say last Tuesday, they were just showering the man with praise. And it's nothing wrong with lifting people up, but don't lie about them. Don't lie about them. And you got to be careful what you say about people, because that calling card may come a little too soon and that bubble gets popped and then they get embarrassed. Oh, he was quite embarrassed because I think he knew when he saw me and he saw David sitting on the front row and I was sitting on the second row, and David looked at me and I looked at David, and we just had a smirk on our face. And we just sat there as good citizens and we just listened to the praises come down like Jesus Christ himself had become the city attorney. Knowing that just a month and a half ago, we decided to inspect officer Wright's records because me and David wanted to see if there was a pattern or a history, as some of these officers often have, of abusing citizens if he had that. And we were asking too many questions. And we were making them mad. And I never could get an answer as to who them or they were. Folks, we at Nooga Radio 92.7 are dedicated to you, the listener. But understand that it's not free. Besides time and gas that we spend chasing these stories down, following up and doing the legwork, spending countless hours of our personal time doing this, understand that we piss a whole lot of people off on your behalf. We don't do it because we have a vendetta against government or we have a vendetta against anybody in public office. But if the people vote for you in an election, you are a representative. As a matter of fact, let me rephrase that. You are hired. You are effectively hired by the people who elected you. And we should have no bones about pressuring, asking, just like you can go on your job and you could be fired by not doing your job. How is it that we've come to believe that once we get people in there, there's nothing that we can do with them? Y'all got this thing jacked up. I'm not afraid. Now, I keep trying to warn the city council of their impunity and their indifference, because I know people can only be pushed so far and so much, and that we got to be careful, because even they know how many times you're going to allow somebody to shove you before you knock them out. Let's be real. It's human nature to fight back against what is wrong. or fight for what is right. That's human nature. Now, we try to hush that in this new society because we're so comfortable and we don't want to, we don't want people to talk about us. We don't want them to say anything about us. And some of us got our comfortable jobs now, and we will see things going on and we won't speak up about it because we might lose our job. And they may say something about us. They may keep me from getting that promotion I've been working for, even though I see things going on. My thing to do is to put on the blinders and pretend. And then the same large amount of us who are listening, a large amount of you who are listening are Christians who are going to church and worshiping on Sunday, saying that you trust in God and that you believe in God's providence and his law, but yet you turn on the blinders every day to what's going on right here in your city. And you could, I'm just telling you as a young person, it bothers me that I'm talking all of the people who are on the council are way older than I am. Much older than I am. Got children, grandchildren. Some of them look so old, they probably got great-grandchildren. I'm a young person talking to people who should have more knowledge, wisdom, and experience than me about issues that I believe they should be training me to fight for. And it's like a child having to lead the elders. It's almost what it feels like. It's crazy. Why do we have to put pressure on people to do what is right? I said last week that the council steps over, and I know they do. You can't tell me otherwise. They step over and drive past the poor. How do I know that? Because I see poor people all the time downtown. No place to live. No food to eat. Tattered and battered clothes. And I know that they will step over them and drive past them and look up at tens and hundreds of millions of dollars of buildings that wouldn't exist without our city and our county government taking on payment in lieu of taxes, which is nothing more than invested debt. Folks, even the growth we have is not real. The prosperity that we supposedly have is not real. It's not real. All of it is an illusion that we can continue to hold on to access things we don't need. Because God forbid if we ever have to give up anything, if we ever have to give up being comfortable, if we ever have to, and let me say, it's nothing wrong with nice stuff. But folks, it's something wrong with having nice stuff and sacrificing other people to get it. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me.
Marie, I love that you brought up the subject. You know, we were subjects of the crown, and I guess the apple don't fall too far from the tree, you know, being the brethren of the British. We were subjects of the crown. I'll tell you why I want to hold everyone elected to a higher standard. And I don't want to cut them any slack, because to me, a representative is a representative. You're representing me. When you have a lawyer, he represents you. Who's representing you today? Well, he is representing you. If you're going to represent me, you better do it in the best light. And that's what infuriates me, is that I can't speak. They're representing us. They are representing us. So if you're going to represent me, you better do it in the best light, and you better have answers to my questions.
Thank you. Somebody gets it. And I hope you guys heard that. Thank you so much, Mike. You always dropping it on him. And I agree. I can't cut any of these folks any slack. Not one of them. Because what it means to represent me or represent is to bring to the forefront when you're in rooms with people who may not know me, know what I need, know what I'm dying to have in order to survive, what my community needs. The whole purpose of having representation is having people who will continuously present the people's needs above their own. Because it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the community, the people. You're just a voice for a time period until we feel somebody else can do the job better than you. And it is absolutely shameful that our duly elected officials have more respect for these criminal businesses that won't pay money that they owe, these criminal corporations, because it's criminal. It's criminal to sign an agreement. It's criminal to sign an agreement and to promise that you're going to give people good jobs. It's criminal to do these things and not pay back money that you owe. That could go towards things like infrastructure, education, investment into local economy in 1,000,000 trillion different ways. It's criminal for our officials to not go collect this money if it's not going to be handed over. But to then say that, well, we got a deficit or we got a need and we're going to just bum rush the people for it. How much more can you raise our taxes? How much more? It's not enough tax money that's going to come from the people that should be filling the coffers from what is owed to us by institutions like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Westinghouse, Volkswagen, Amazon, and 40-something others. Folks, this is a problem. And a problem that only persists because we refuse to see the truth. And as long as we do that, we are subjects. And we are not as free as we would like to claim. And our freedom that's all it is. It's a claim. It's not anything that is legitimate or real. It's just a claim. I encourage you, start doing your homework. Start with constitutional law, or at least the Bill of Rights, and move on from there. Parallel it to what's happening in your own neighborhood or in your city. Does it set you free? It should. It absolutely should. Y'all know what it is. It's the Marie Mott Show, and I'm calling for accountability. I will not turn a blind eye to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. I care too much about you, the listener. Y'all know what it is. If no one has told you today that they love you, I love you. It's nothing you can do about that. Go spread some love to somebody today and bring the sunshine in just like God has given us on this beautiful day. I love you guys. It ain't nothing you can do about that.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news.